Well, hello and welcome back in to our weekly look at Tiffin University basketball. Hi, everybody. It's Dragon Basketball Weekly. I'm voice of the Dragons, Russell Snyder. To my right, head women's basketball coach Josh Mason. In our second week, getting a chance to talk is getting to a point here pretty soon, Coach. We're just going to wind back down just a little bit before we ramp things up. But you girls still got more business to take care of out on the hardwood.
Yes, we do. 2 big games this week with Mercyhurst non-conference and another GMAC showdown with Ohio Dominican on Saturday.
Well, let's take a quick look back at last week's contest. We're going to take a look forward at the Mercyhurst and Ohio Dominican games this week. The Dragons brought in Ursuline earlier in the week last week, and Coach, when we talked last week, you mentioned that the tempo that they play with. Seems like those two twin girls have been there about 20 years. But you told us that they were a pretty good team, and I thought they lived up to the hype. They were a pretty good basketball club.
Yeah, they are a pretty good basketball club, and hats off to them. I mean, they were definitely a better team that night. I thought defensively we did some pretty good things. However, if you can't put the ball in the hole, it's tough to win.
Yeah, that's right. First quarter, the Dragons held their own with a 3-point advantage over Ursuline, but the offensive woes, as Coach mentioned, for the final 3 quarters led to the Ursuline victory. But let's talk a little bit about that game, Coach. Kids just were having trouble filling it up, and it's hard to have shooting woes when you're facing a team that's shooting over 50% in the game. That's like a double whammy.
Yeah, it's definitely. The rim starts to get smaller as you start to miss and the other team starts to make it. So we started to lack a little bit of confidence towards the end of the second half of the second quarter. But that's stuff we'll have to live with and work through the season.
Yeah, it's growing pains of the basketball season. Absolutely. You held your own on the rebounds with Ursuline that night as well. The big difference was the points off turnover. Neither team really took care of the ball all that well, but they had turned Dragon turnovers into 26, and you turned them into 8. And that was really one of the big differences in that contest as the Dragons fell to Ursuline at home, and you were led in scoring by Savannah Richards, and Presley Feltner ended up getting you double-digit rebounds that night as well.
Yeah. Presley has taken ownership to the boards, and she's had the last 3 games have done a great job rebounding both on the defensive end and the offensive end. So we're proud of the effort she's given.
And Katara DeJarnette, your point guard, she chipped in I think 9 points in that game, and your two point guards right now, Katara and then Tommy Hinkle coming off the bench. Talk a little bit about those two fulfilling that role for you.
Yeah, I mean, point guard's a tough position to play. We're putting the ball in the hands of a freshman and a sophomore, but they're doing a good job in stepping up when we need to. Just trying to work through the growing pains, becoming a little bit more consistent. But both have great mental headspace on their shoulders and willing to take on whatever's coming at them. So we're looking forward to see their growth throughout the season.
You better have a good headspace if you're going to play point guard, because there's some darn good point guards in our league you got to face each and every night. And then Tommy, I didn't know a whole lot about Tommy. I had a chance to see her, but it seems like she's a girl that when you put her in, you kind of want her looking for her offense a little bit.
Yeah. Tommy knows she was brought here to score. She can really shoot it and fill it up, but she also sees the floor really well. So her ability to get the ball to people in spots, and we just got to knock some shots down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Katara doing a real nice job for you as a starting point guard as well. So the Dragons, you take on Walsh on the weekend game, and a game that both teams had really good quarters. The Dragons outscoring Walsh by 9 in the second quarter, Walsh getting the Dragons by 11 in the fourth quarter. The difference was the slow start for your Dragons in that first quarter.
Yeah, we definitely had to get through playing on Tuesday and playing again on Thursday, but that's how the basketball season works. So first time for a lot of our young kids doing that. And first time seeing what two GMAC teams look like in a week. We're going to know everything about them. They're going to know everything about us. So it was definitely a rough first quarter. Well,
both those teams traditionally, Ursuline and Walsh, play really good basketball in the Great Midwest Athletic Conference. Ellie Gable doing some good things for you as well. Talk a little bit about what Ellie brings to the table for your kids.
Yeah, Ellie's a great shooter, especially when she's got her confidence back and seeing the ball fall in. She's someone that can space the floor for us and give a little bit more room for our posts and our COVID seniors driving the ball a little bit. So we look for Ellie to make some shots, and looking forward to seeing that happen these next 2 games.
Speaking of players playing with confidence on their jump shot, she's usually a little apprehensive when it comes to putting the ball in the air, but she seemed like she was feeling a little bit on Thursday night. Pistol Brinson giving you some good offense off the bench. Like I said, sometimes she seems a little hesitant to look for her shot, but once she saw a couple go in on Thursday, you can see the confidence on her face.
Yeah, I think it's easy to forget how much basketball she's played in her career, coming from Nova Southeastern, and so there's moments like against Walsh that we're all reminded that she's played quite some time and has the ability to score. I mean, she had her jersey retired in high school. I think she's the leading scorer in school history there, actually, in high school.
Awesome.
So I think, again, she found the ball going to the rim and hopefully gain a little bit of confidence moving forward.
How important is it that experience she's had as a point guard player with these younger kids actually getting the majority of the playing time, having somebody who's been there, done that, back there ready to lend an ear or lend a hand if she needs to?
Yeah, the best thing about Pistol is her ability to embrace her role and excel at it. She's a great on-ball defender. She's a great floor general for us to calm us down. So we know that when C and Tommy are in a game at the 1, they're more of a scoring threat than Pistol. But the girls get excited when Pistol's in because they know if they're open, she's going to find you. So I think her leadership speaks volumes when she's on the court.
You know, there's seniors that give you a lot of leadership as well as a girl like Kirsten Williams who's doing a lot of good things for you. As she's been doing for a few years here at Tiffin University.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, both teams in that game against Walsh had 11 assists in that game. And again, it was the points off the turnovers. Walsh getting 20, the Dragons getting 12, which might have really kind of spelled the demise for Tiffin in that game. But it's a new week, and the Dragons this week, as you said, Coach, will be on the road on tomorrow nights to take on Thursday night. On my weeks, I just got out of a meeting. I took off yesterday.
Oh, I get it.
My days are all messed up. So 7 out of conference on Thursday night to take on Mercyhurst. Tell us a little bit about Mercyhurst.
They're tough. Mercyhurst's tough. They play with great pace as well. She's got a couple D1 transfers that came in. Excellent point guard and post player there. So we're going to have our work cut out for us. But, you know, the improvement we had from Ursula to Walsh was exciting. So I think we're doing a better job of tunnel vision. I'm just focusing on getting better every day and worried about us. And seeing how the chips fall at the end of the game.
Is it good to step out of conference right now before coming back in, just to get a different look, kind of relax, try a couple things, and maybe you're, I don't know. Is it just good to step out of conference right now?
Yeah, I mean, we always say and we always believe that, you know, you want to play your best basketball in mid-January and on.
Right.
And so to get these non-cons out of the way, to give us another test and game reps for us early in the season is great.
Then you'll come home. You'll take on a team that you have a lot of familiarity with. Ohio Dominican. Our last game before a little bit of a Christmas slowdown a little bit, but holiday slowdown. Talk a little bit about Ohio Dominican likes to do on the basketball floor.
Yeah, I mean, any game with Ohio Dominican's a battle. You know, last year I think we proved that. I think both of us do pride ourselves on the defensive end of the floor. So it's going to be nice to see that type of battle. And offensively, we're playing new kids and some younger kids, and we're still trying to figure life out. But that's what makes it exciting.
Right. Well, I was looking at some of the numbers from your kids this year. Kirsten Williams leading in minutes played, as you probably expect, 27.5 minutes per. But another young lady we haven't had a chance to mention yet, but I'd like to get some input from you on her as your backup post player, Grace Craig. Young lady, the freshman, doing some good things. She's actually shooting 70% from the floor this year. But her and Presley, you know, two totally different players, but both of them doing some good things for you.
Yeah, you know, I think I was blessed with the opportunity to coach Grace in high school at Hoover, and then had the ability to get her to come here. She's a freak athlete, and I think that shows the moment she steps on the floor. She definitely provides an athleticism to be able to guard multiple positions, and again, crashing the boards. It gives two different type of post players crashing, but both equally doing good things. What we like about Prez that I think Grace is learning from is the ability to facilitate.
Okay.
You know, Grace has come as a freshman where all it was give me the ball on the block and let me score.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's learning a lot from Prez on understanding on how to get the ball to the guards and help them out scoring as well.
From what I've seen, it doesn't seem like you got to worry about the energy from Grace when she comes off the bench. She seems like she's ready to rock and roll every time you call her name.
Yeah. Grace is a high energy motor kid, and that thing never runs out. So we can definitely always count on that.
I think last week, Coach, we did get a chance to talk about your assistant coaching staff, and I know that you got some familiarity this year and some new faces as well. Why don't you talk a little bit about what's going on with the folks that done you a big helping hand?
Yeah, you know, I think last year, Coach Lee and I, we found out that we definitely needed some help trying to manage some of these things. So we brought on Abram Cable from Buckeye Central, a very successful high school coach that's coming on board and helping us. And then we had the ability to have two GAs this year with Coach Paul and Coach Easton. They're also helping with our extended varsity program. So the great thing about everyone that we have on our staff, we all have different personalities, and I think we gel really well together. So it's definitely been fun for me, learning how to delegate.
Right.
But I also think they're learning a little bit from me as well. So I couldn't ask for a better staff, and we're looking forward to see our growth as the year goes.
Well, they say a good leader surrounds himself by smart people. I say that's probably what you're saying right there.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Definitely want to surround myself with people that are energetic and passionate about just helping these kids. And I think with how great our kids are, off the court, it's pretty easy to want to help them. So
Right.
luckily for me, I've got 4 people that want to do it all they can to make sure they're successful.
You mentioned your extended varsity program. Talk a little bit about what that means as far as building a program is concerned.
Yeah, I mean it's been awesome. Once a week our extended varsity kids come in. They run some scout team for us and give us some different looks. They take pride in learning other teams' plays, other teams' defense.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I like about it is they come in and compete and kind of keep that competitive culture in the gym, which is awesome. They had a game last night, and it's awesome to see the growth they've had since the beginning of the year. Looking forward to see what they bring after Christmas break.
Yeah, they love getting out on the floor just like everybody else does. That's for absolutely sure, certain. This is Josh Mason. He's the Tiffin University head women's basketball coach. At Mercyhurst this week, then home on Saturday against Ohio Dominican, right back here at the Gilmore Student Center. We'll have all the action for you on the Great Midwest Digital Network and on the radio at WTUD, TUDragonradio.com. And I apologize to Coach before, but the Ursuline game, we had an internet port that went out back there, so I didn't know the game was choppy and messed up until the game was over, but everything is good to go and rock and roll now. So, Coach, thank you for your time. Best of luck. Love watching your kids compete, and it's always a lot of fun when I get to hang out with you and your women's basketball team out here at the Gilmore Student Center.
Like always, we always appreciate all that you do.
All right, thank you, buddy. We'll come back in just a moment with Tiffin University men's basketball coach, Mr. Tom Church. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, welcome back to the weekly look at Tiffin University basketball, the Dragon Basketball Weekly. Hi, everybody. Russ Snyder, voice of the Dragons. To my right, head men's basketball coach, Tom Church. And, Coach, rough week last week for the Dragons, but, I'm sure you learned a whole lot about your club on those 2 ball games.
Yeah, we did. We didn't come out of the week, obviously, like we wanted to. I thought Thursday was a real battle, and then Saturday was pretty disappointing from the fact that we were even in the game the way that we played.
Right.
We got out of sorts. Did not shoot a real good percentage in the second half there. I think we only made 7 field goals in the second half, but too many threes. Didn't get to the offensive glass. A lot of things that we hadn't done all year. But like you said, I think we learned a lot about our team, and
that's important,
and got some things that we need to correct, and better now than in the conference game that we got coming up Saturday.
Right. Well, the Dragons first took on Walsh last week, a team that only had a couple games coming in, but they look like a little more seasoned than that. I mean, I'm talking about a team that's got good, consistent guard play. Garrison Kiesler feels like he's been there forever, and he's still got more eligibility after this year. But, they did what they had to do. Their guards scored. They had a very explosive second half. The problem was, Coach, last week, you faced 2 teams that both shot the ball very, very well. Yeah. And, they shot the ball for the game 53%. That's a great percentage for an entire contest.
Yeah, and we have been defending extremely well. And, a couple mistakes here and there on the defensive end. We gave the team some confidence, and they got going a little bit. So, we were hoping to get back to it Saturday. Saturday was just kind of seemed like a really tough physical game. I don't know that we matched it as well as we should have. I thought their inside play really kind of got to us.
They had good size.
And, they had good size and really frustrated us. So, again, both games were a little bit different, but some things that really shown that we need to correct.
Well, in the Walsh game, you guys took care of the basketball. I mean, each team only had a total of 14 turnovers. Yeah. You guys 6, them 8, but you guys turned their 8 turnovers into 10 points, able to limit their your turnovers into points into 4. 11-2 fast break advantage for the Dragons, but they Walsh got a good 21 points off of the bench in that one as well. Morgan Taylor had 18 points for you in that game. Josh Rivers, Karius Key had 15, and Wesley chipped in with 11, give him a double-double in that night, 11 points, 12 boards.
Yeah, we wanted to get off to a good start with Walsh, only playing them once, being a home conference game, but we also know that they're going to be one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the league as well. Mm-hmm. So, we told our guys that we're going to get them again, and hopefully that's going to be in the conference tournament.
Right. And then we stepped out of the conference for your cancer awareness game on Saturday with Wayne State coming in. We already mentioned their size. Not a lot of teams can match up with the size with /athleticism with Wesley, but they were able to do so. And there was a lot of one-on-one play between him and their big man, and both of them did a pretty darn good job.
Yeah, it was a very, very physical game, and it was just one of those games where, we were down 3 or 4, and I felt like we were down 12.
Yeah,
just because we didn't play very well. We got out of sorts, very out of characteristic for us. I think we shot 26 threes, which that's not who we are.
Right.
I didn't think our spacing was very good on offense. It was just our decision making in general, and really, we talked about with the guys that our attention to detail was not very, very good. And that's what we need to get back to. So, and you're looking at the box score, and you're I'm amazed that the game was that close, but we turned them over 19 times.
Yeah, and you only turned it over 8.
That's where we were able to gain some traction.
And you did a good job off the bench, 24 bench points. Brandon Swaby gave you a good lift off the bench, coming in, getting the offense going.
He's been playing tremendous, and he was a real bright spot. Our bench was really, really good, and we're going to need them again on Saturday. But I thought our bench was good, specifically Brandon. He's been playing so well. He's really a savvy vet, and he plays really good on both ends of the floor.
One thing I noticed too, I don't know if you watched the broadcast back, but I noticed it seems like when your offense isn't really clicking the way you like it to, getting guys like Karius Key and Josh Rivers getting downhill and getting to the basket seems to, kind of, things aren't clicking. Let's get to the rock, to the hole, and these two guys can do it.
They certainly can. I think the other area is getting them post touches, because we do have a size advantage, whether it be, a little bit at the guard player or the small forward. Josh is one in particular. He's a playmaker. We've got to get him some touches around the paint and in the post to score. Great, but also to be able to make plays because that's what he can do.
Right.
So we're open Saturday. We had a really good practice yesterday. We don't play until Saturday, so we've got some things that we need to correct that we will. So we're hoping for a different outcome on Saturday. Obviously.
Yeah, the women got the road game at Mercyhurst in between now and then, and the Dragons, both men and women, will be back here right behind us in the Gilmore Student Center for Ohio Dominican coming in this Saturday. Talk a little bit about ODU. Tell us what they like to do.
I think they're 1-5 or 1-6, but every game has been close. I think they're one of the better 1-5 or 1-6 teams that I've seen. Coach Casey Kaufman is new there. He came from Malone, went to Ohio Dominican. They're not going to beat themselves. I can tell you that right now. They've got a lot of young guys, but they do the little things, and it's going to be a battle on Saturday. They were down 2 or 3 in the second half to Hillsdale, and Hillsdale pulled away a little bit at the end because they had 2 conference games. I think they played Cedarville and Hillsdale, but we went to their crossover.
Yeah.
They were extremely impressive there against McKendree and Lewis, 2 tight games. So it's going to be a tight game here on Saturday, and it's league play. It's always like that in league play.
Yeah, and you got a chance to see them play in person. It's a little bit different than watching film. You just get a little bit of a different feel for things. So, you look at some of the statistics coming into so far this year. You got a couple, Morgan Taylor, Wesley Jordan, both playing just under 30 minutes. 2 guys you probably figured would be on the floor a lot. And that's even with Morgan playing with some foul trouble last week and missing quite a bit of the game. And one number that really sticks out to me is that Josh Rivers is shooting over 50% with the physicality that's involved in probably 3/4 of the shots that young man takes.
I know. He did. We've seen him fall on the floor a few times with his physicality. So, him shooting that high of a percentage is, again, we've got to get him the ball in some space. We've got to get him the ball in the post where he can do some things and make some plays. Not necessarily score, which is great, but just to get him the ball to where he can make some plays and kickouts and things like that is huge for us.
Yeah, that's something that people probably don't really think about. Sometimes a lot of basketball is getting the ball in guys' hands in a place on the floor where they can be effective.
For sure. We do some isolation stuff. Again, and then the way that our offense works in our motion to where we can have anybody kind of flash into the post at any time, or crab dribble into the post if they get it in an area. So, we've got some different things that we can do. But again, it's also finding them at the right time and getting them the ball when we need to get them the ball.
And a couple guys that were doing some good work for you off the bench. We mentioned Brandon Swaby, as he's averaging just under 8 points per game, and KJ Pruitt shooting about nice even 50% from the 3-point line. Talk a little bit about your bench as a whole, is what they bring to the table for you.
We feel really confident with them, and if we haven't gotten off to a real good starts here as of late, which we need to do, but we feel really confident in being able to go to our bench to kind of pick it up a little bit and take it to another notch, which they have. They shot a really good percentage on Saturday, and we were hoping that was going to be enough to kind of get us over the hump, but it wasn't. Again, we got some things we need to correct, and we will, but I'm really happy with our bench playing our depth right now. Yeah,
depth is a thing that you really haven't had something that you can lean on in your early going here at Tiffin University. It's nice to have depth. Something that's,
I know.
Sure is nice to have on a basketball team.
Yeah, it is, and it's nice that we have some older guys, we have some vets, we have some guys that have played minutes, maybe elsewhere or whatever, that can give us that veteran presence.
Well, the Dragons, as we said, will have a home match here against the Ohio Dominican this coming Saturday. I actually have a track and field event we got to do on Friday, so it'll be a busy weekend. But then after that, you guys not going to be playing much ball up north here. You're going to be taking a little. So we'll probably get together maybe after next week and then preview what you guys are doing over the holiday, then reconvene in January. So
so we'll be going down to Florida for the Tampa Holiday Classic, and that'll be on a Saturday, Sunday. So we'll play Saturday. And we got one game over 13 days, so it'll give us a chance to really get in the gym and get some practice time in, which we are doing. So Saturday, and then we go to Florida.
What's more important when you have that much time off? Putting new things in, or really putting the emphasis on the basic fundamentals?
Well, we're 5-2. We're 7 games in, and I think it's looking at like who you are as a team and what you've done well, focusing on that, and again being able to clean up some of those things to get some more consistency. I think that's the biggest disappointment now. Was going into those 2 games, I thought we had been consistent through the first 5 games, and we kind of lost our way a little bit. Again, we got out of sorts on Saturday, and credit to Wayne State. I mean, they did a good job of kind of taking us out of what we do well.
Well, they're a good club.
They are, and they've been playing really well as of late, and I thought we got out of sorts. Again, 26 threes, that's not who we are.
Right.
So again, I mean, that's one of those things where we're going to face that again. We're going to play another team that's going to do that. How are we going to respond? So practices right now have been really good, and they need to be. Like I said, with Ohio Dominican coming in here Saturday.
And a whole lot of games still on that basketball schedule. We're barely touching the surface of the basketball season. It's going to be exciting to see what the end of December, then January and February happen right out here. That's always a whole lot of fun when we get back at it. And then we come right back into it with Ashland coming to town. So just jump right back into the fire. Good times, right?
Absolutely. The GMAC is about as good as it's ever been. It really, really is. And the basketball and the teams and top to bottom and college basketball in general is like that. If you don't bring it every single night, you better be prepared for an upset because that's the way it is. So that's something that I think our guys know and they're continuing to learn. But Saturday we're hoping for a better showing, obviously, than we had these last couple games.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about basketball, especially at the college level. No matter what level in the college level, it's always exciting. My son goes to a Division III school, and he was just telling me how much fun he had on Saturday night when they had their main rival in town, and his school got the win. So
absolutely.
It's a lot of fun. That's the biggest part of it. It's fun. It's always a lot of fun when all these seats down here are filled with those students, too.
Our crowd has been great, and we've had a couple games. We had the cancer awareness game, which was really good, and but our crowd's been great, and we need you again on Saturday.
Yep, get down here to the Gilmore Student Center on Saturday. The Dragons take on Ohio Dominican. If by chance you can't, we'll have the video for you at the Great Midwest Digital Network and on the radio call at tudragonradio.com. Well, Coach Church, go get them this Saturday and have a fun trip to Florida, and we'll come back and we'll get a lot of work done on that stretch run come 2024, which seems really weird to say.
Wow, sounds great. Great.
He's Coach Church. I'm Russell Snyder. This has been your weekly look at Tiffin University basketball, Dragon Basketball Weekly.